It's murder, and the police have already swung into action. At the home of the late deceased Mr. Trist, Lieutenant Quint of the Homicide Squad is beginning the investigation.
There were 4 of you in the room when the lights went out. Now, one of you stabbed Gordon Trist through the heart and hid the weapon. We haven't found the weapon yet, but we will. I thought that first I'd give you all a chance to talk.
At a time like this, who feels like making conversation?
Hey, Jones, you had a run-in with Mr. Trist this morning, didn't you?
Yeah.
I understand he fired you.
Well, yeah, but I didn't kill him.
What did you do when the lights went out?
Well,
What did you do?
I hid in the piano.
You knew that Mr. Trist didn't like you. What were you doing in his home?
Well, I was selling some brushes to Mrs. Trist. Go ahead, ask her. She'll tell you herself.
Mrs. Trist?
I never saw him before in my life.
Oh!
We always feed our jailbirds well. Go on, Jones. Have some more turkey.
Now, look, Lieutenant. You look here. I'm looking and can't find it. Wait, I got it. Look, Lieutenant, I don't want any more turkey. What are you trying to do? Get something out of me or get something into me? You've been firing questions at me all night. I'm still not guilty, and I'm not very hungry.
Oh, go ahead. That turkey can't hurt you now.
No.
It's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Mr. Trist.
Yeah, now, don't say things like that. Now, look, I didn't kill Mr. Trist, and I don't like your a la carte insinuations.
Oh, come now. There's no need to get upset.
Upset? Oh, I'm not upset. I'm not.
Not one little bit?
No, not one little bit.
Well, then tell me, why are you putting that turkey wing in your lapel?
I'm on the blue plate special.
I came right down, Lieutenant. When Mr. Wallach said you called him, I decided...
she thought she'd better come along.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to bother you, but this Fuller Brush kit had your name on it, Wallach. Is it yours?
Yes, it's mine. I lent it to Red Jones.
Why?
That's what I'd like to know.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Lieutenant. This is Mr. Seward, our district manager.
Yes, and in all my years with the company, we've never before been associated with scandal. Just look at these newspaper headlines, will you? Fuller Brushman says buy or die. Door knocker. Door knocker knocks off reluctant customer. Can't you do anything about this horrible publicity?
You better take that up with Jones. Ferguson.
Yes, Lieutenant?
Bring Jones in here. I'm letting him go.
Letting him go? After what he did to Fuller Brushes?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Seward. It was all my fault. I know now how useless it was.
Well, thanks, Ferguson. You got to come over to my place and sleep sometime. Oh, hello, Angie. I'm sorry about all of this. It wasn't my fault, really. Now that I'm going to be a Fuller Brushman, things will be different, boy. I'm going to be the best thing that ever hit Fuller Brushes. It might be just the opposite. Come along, Wallach. What's everybody so touchy about?
Oh, nothing. Just the same old thing. Red Jones has done it again. Mr. Trouble. Oh, dependable. I always expect the worst from you, Red. And you never let me down.
But, Ann, it wasn't my...
Don't say that again. Don't ever say anything to me again.
Gosh, now her, too.
Say, Jones, who gets this Fuller Brush kit?
Might as well be me. I'm always left holding the bag. Just a minute. Gee, maybe it's Ann. Maybe she's changed her mind. I'm coming. Just a minute. Hiya, honey. Oh, gosh, Mrs. Trist.
Let me in, please, quick.
Well, now, look, sis, I don't know what you want to buy, but this time I ain't selling.
You must believe me. I'm only trying to help you.
Oh, sure. Trying to help me get a fast ride down that last mile. Now, why didn't you tell those cops that you bought those brushes?
Because they suspect us both.
They do?
If they knew we'd met before, they might think we were in this thing together. And we are in it together, even though we're innocent.
Yeah.
We must work together.
Yeah?
Stick together.
Yeah? It's going to be tough walking that way. Well, how about my girl? Will you tell her you bought those brushes from me?
Oh, of course.
Oh, good. Well, now you stay right here. Stay where you are. See, I hope she's not out with Wallach. I hope she's not home with Wallach. Well, here. Hello. Hey, Ann, look, honey, can you come over to my place right away? Oh, but Ann, you got to. Look, Mrs. Trist is here, and she wants to tell you something. Okay, honey, I knew you would. Hurry, will you? Yeah, she's coming right over, Mrs. Trist. Then you can tell her the truth. And... Hey, what are you doing messing around my Fuller Brush kit?
Oh, just looking at the brushes. They're wonderful.
Yeah, they are. They're nice. Hey, what's this bristlecomb doing here? I thought I sold all of those to you.
Well, as a matter of fact, you only left me 9. That one must be mine, too.
Oh, well, take it. But don't forget to pay me for 'em. You dig up the cash and I'll dig up some food. Neighbors next door are acting up again. I'll dig up some food. Boy, am I hungry. They serve a wonderful meal down at the jail, but they spoil your appetite first. Hey, come on, you can help me. You know anything about boiling onions?
This is the kitchen?
Yeah, it's kind of small. It used to be a telephone booth before the housing shortage.
The doorbell.
Well, gosh, that's funny. It couldn't be Ann. She couldn't get here that fast.
You go and answer it. I'll stay in here. And remember, no one must know I'm in the place.
No, okay. Yes?
Good evening, Mr. Jones.
Oh, you're that butler, Mr. Hurst. You're Triss's butler, aren't you, huh? Look, I'm awful busy, old man, so would you please hurry and go away?
I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. I'm coming in.
Oh,
Now then, where is Mrs. Trist?
Mrs. Trist?
I know she's here. I followed her.
Oh.
I had a feeling she was in on this some way. The doorbell.
That's funny. That's what everybody said.
Quick. I mustn't be discovered here.
Why not?
Don't you ever go to the movies?
Yeah.
In a murder mystery, they always suspect the butler.
Oh.
Where can I hide?
Well, in there, in the kitchen with Mrs. Trist.
Thanks. I'll do as much for you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just a minute. Boy, what a spot for a hot dog stand, huh? Hello.
Your name, Jones?
Goodbye. Guy out there with a gun. Oh, it's a good thing this door's locked. Say, how'd you mugs unlock that door?
Professional secret, Mr. Jones. Stitch, is it in that full-of bus kit?
Not here, Jiggers. No sign of it.
Okay, start looking.
Well, look, anything I can help you with? You're kind of noisy for people I haven't met. Look, you're wrecking my apartment. What do you want?
Came up to buy some freshes, Mr. Fuller.
Be quiet about it, will you? I don't care about you breaking my furniture, but don't break my leaves, please.
The doorbell. Who's that?
I don't know. At this point, I could use a little prompting from the audience.
We'll go and wait in the kitchen.
Oh?
You get rid of whoever it is.
Oh.
And don't try any funny business.
Oh, I won't.
This gun is loaded.
So is the kitchen.
Come on, Stitch.
Oh, goodness. Coming. I'm going to make a deal with the bus people. You watch.
Hello, Jones. Am I intruding?
Lieutenant Quint. Oh, well, come in, Lieutenant Quint. Gee, I'm sure glad to see you, Lieutenant Quint. Oh, just loosen up your holster, and... Just take off your gun and make yourself at home. I don't mess with them once I miss them, you know. I'll guarantee I'll never be back here again.
It doesn't look much like home right now.
Oh, I feel right at home, though. I changed the furniture around, some of the lines, too.
I'm sure it looked better the way you had it.
Oh, no.
You're positive I'm not intruding now.
Oh, no, I was just spending a quiet evening alone with some of my joke books.
Well, I wouldn't leave you alone with my joke book.
The doorbell. Oh, doggone it. Now they got me saying it. Excuse me, will you, Lieutenant? Yes.
Red, I just...
Ann, darling.
Oh, Lieutenant Quint, you still think Red killed Mr. Trist? Lieutenant, how can you be so blind? Why, Red never harmed anyone in his life.
Say, let's get this straight, Miss. Are you with him or against him?
With him when he's in trouble.
Ain't that wonderful? I'm always in trouble.
Red, where is she? You said Mrs. Trist was here. Lieutenant, that ought to prove something to you.
Mrs. Trist?
Well, she thought I said Trist, and I said Prist, Mrs. Prist. She's the woman with the underslung jaw. Her husband married her so he'd have an ashtray. The bottom part comes out and the top part recedes. It goes back so far she has to put her lipstick on from the back.
Well, that's very interesting. And,
you're supposed to be serious. Let's not laugh this now.
And what did Mrs. Prist come here for?
How should I know? Who could understand her?
Listen.
If anybody says doorbell, I'm going to scream.
Well, I better answer that myself. Oh, it's you, Ferguson. Get anything?
Your hunch is right on the beam, Lieutenant. We got 4 of them. They were coming down the fire escape.
Who?
Mrs. Trist, the butler, and a couple of finger men. Hey, well, that's impossible. They're out there in the kitchen. Come on, I'll show you. Hey, Mrs. Trist, will you please come out and tell my girl what you... Hey, everybody's gone.
Oh, relax, Red. You're off the spot.
Oh?
Oh, you really mean that, Lieutenant?
Sure. We've dug up quite a bit about Mrs. Trist and that Cruxton guy.
You mean the fellow that was there when the old boy got murdered?
Uh-huh. He shared a lot of business interests with Trist. He also hoped to share his wife. They got so pally, they forgot to be smart. Oh, there's no question about the case. If I could only find the murder weapon.
Well, let's tear the rest of the place apart. Hey, what am I saying, anyhow?
Hey, Red, what's that funny smell in here?
Smell? I started to say it may be the script, you know. It must be that coffee pot. Mrs. Trist started to make some coffee. It's been boiling all this time. Come on, Willie. Just empty it out here. Hey, look. What's that?
It's one of our brushes. Hey, that's very strange. It was in the coffee.
Wait, I got it, Ann. Look, this handle, it's soft. It's been out of shape. And the way it was before, it was sharp and pointed.
The murder weapon.
That's right. Whoever killed Trist hid this brush with the other brushes in my kit and came here tonight to get it.
That adds up to Mrs. Trist. Why, she didn't even want me to know she'd even bought one of those brushes.
Yeah, but what about the 2 mugs with the guns?
Oh, they've talked enough already. They were hired by Cruxton. He was in on it, too.
Yes, but the butler, where does he come in?
We just threw him in to make the plot tougher.
Oh, Red, I'm so glad you're safe.
Well, that's fine. Now we got some unfinished business. And you remember all those kisses Wallach gave you yesterday?
Well, what about him?
Well, you wouldn't want to keep his kisses, would you? Come on, gal. Hand them over.
No, Red.
I wrote the ending myself. Pretty good, huh?